आज मैं क्लास 9th के टॉपिक मोशन के बारे में थोड़ा बात करने वाला हूँ, क्योंकि मैं भी रेस्ट में हूँ और घर में आराम कर रहा हूँ। तो एज ए टीचर लगा कि बच्चों के साथ कुछ शेयर करना चाहिए, तो मैं वही आपके साथ कर रहा हूँ। When somebody move from one place to another, it is said to be in motion. But motion can only be defined with the help of any fixed point that is called reference point. It means a reference point may vary. For example, when we talk about someone is traveling in bus, he or she is in rest with respect to the bus. But when we compare the person taking outside as a reference point, he is in motion. It means same person may be in rest or motion. ये बिल्कुल क्लियर हो गया कि motion is a relative term. Now here is a question. When somebody in motion, he or she must cover some distances. Then what the distance is? Distance is a simple the path covered by moving body, and the unit is meter. There is some catch. When we are in motion, there may be different path, and the shortest path that we follow to move from one place to another. It means the shortest path means that is always lesser than the actual distance, and this shortest path covered by the body during its motion is called displacement. It means distance and displacement both having the same unit. Now here is a question. When body cover the distances, someone take lesser time and someone take more time. Then we have to give the another quantity that is called a speed that compare the distances covered by the two bodies. It means what? The speed is the rate of the distance covered. For example, if a body cover 50 km in 1 hour, then a speed is 50 km per hour. Here we get the another quantities. When a body cover same distances in same time, they are said to be in uniform motion. And if they cover same distance in different time or equal distance in equal interval of time, they are said to be in uniform motion. It means when a body cover unequal distances in equal interval of time, then we express the speed of the body as a average of speed. Then what the average of speed is? It is just the total distance covered by the body by the total time taken, or average speed is equal to d1 d2 d1 plus d2 and so on by t1 plus t2 and so on. One thing, when a body is covering some distances, we just ask the question, what is the speed of the body at a particular time? For example, when we leave from some places and ask somebody, what is your speed at 5 p.m., then this speed is called instantaneous speed. Then instantaneous speed is the speed of the moving body at a particular time. When we talk about the distance covered and that distance is shortest one, it means we are discussing about the displacement. And when we compare the displacement of a body in a unit time, it is called velocity. It means somebody having the initial velocity and somebody having the final velocity. If a person traveling from one place to another and we find out what the initial velocity is and what the final velocity is, then the average velocity is not the total displacement by total time taken. It is just arithmetic mean of initial and final velocity. It means what? The average velocity is initial velocity plus final velocity by divided by 2. Okay. Now let us compare some things like the distance and displacement. Then distance is the normal path followed by the body, and displacement is the shortest path followed by the body. It means distance cannot be the 0, but the displacement may be 0. Okay, after some rest, we are starting one thing. Displacement may be 0 for that condition. For what condition? That is, during the motion, if the initial and final position of an object is same. This may be possible during the linear motion, when a moving body traveling in a straight path and reach to the same position, then the displacement is 0. And another thing, during the circular motion, when body travel in a circular path and again they complete the one complete circle, it means if distance is 2 pi r in circular motion, it means when the distance is circumference of the circular path, then the displacement is 0. Okay, now we move about some another concept of chapter motion, that is acceleration. It is very essential quantity. When we compare the initial and final velocity with the time, we get another quantity that is called acceleration. Then what the acceleration is? Acceleration is rate of the change in velocity. Then acceleration is simply final velocity minus initial velocity upon 2. Okay, now the another things that we have to study in chapter motion is graphical representation. There are two types of graphical representation. The first one is relation between distance and time, and the relation between distance and time give us information about the speed, and the x-axis represent the time and the y-axis represent the distance. When we draw graph, it may be either a straight line inclined with some angle to time axis. This represent uniform motion. It means moving object covered equal distance and in equal interval of time. Okay. And the second chance, there is a curved line when object covered different distances in different instant of time, different interval of time. Then there is curved line, that is simply represent the non-uniform motion. Okay. Then if we are asked to draw distance time graph for a body in rest, then what are the nature? It means that is simply parallel to the time axis. Okay. Okay, the second graph is velocity time graph, and the time axis is represented by the x axis and the velocity is represented by y axis. There are three type of graph we obtained. One for object in uniform motion, that is a straight line making some angle with x-axis, or that we call it accelerated motion, and the straight line represent the acceleration that we have seen in textbook given. And the second one is curved line, also similar to the distance time graph. We also get curved line in velocity time graph, that is non-uniform motion. In uniform motion, like a straight line making angle with the time axis, either they are from 0 to progressive manner upward, or from upward to downward. A straight line, when they move from downward to upward, from bottom to top, it means that is accelerated motion. And when there is line representing from top to bottom, that is retarded motion. It means in uniform motion or uniform accelerated motion, the velocity of the moving body increases gradually, and in retarded motion, the velocity of the object reduces gradually. And the third graph that represent velocity time graph is a line parallel to the time axis, that we get when an object travels with constant velocity. It means for constant velocity, line representing in graph is parallel to the time axis. Okay, the only thing that we have to left in first part of the chapter motion is the last things that is left in first part of the chapter motion derivation of the equation of the motion. The first equation is v equal to u plus at, and the second equation is s equal ut plus half at, and third one is v square is equal to u square plus 2as. For this purpose, we just take time on x-axis and velocity on y-axis, and they take the u as initial velocity and v as the final velocity and time as the t. When we draw a graph, the straight line representing the acceleration, and the area under the velocity time graph represent the displacement, that is u squared, that is s is equal to ut plus half at square. As simply, when we put value of the t in s barabar ut plus half at square, we get v square barabar u square plus 2as. That we'll discuss in the class, or you can see in your. Thank you for today. Enjoy at your home and do not bother at your home. Stay home. Keep you, yourself, with your family and all mankind safe. Thank you.